Okay, Tony, here's the current status of testing. This bracket right here that you made works really well. Even with only 2 of the longer screws, it holds to the wall really well. As you can see, it's on there tight, which we like. Now, this is an example of an eyeball camera mounted to the wall, looking upward a little bit. A very unusual mount, but standard in respect to an eyeball camera is mounted on the wall. Now you can see why it's important that all the Phillips heads can be arranged so that they face in one direction, away from the wall and down. So we have down for tightening and away from the wall. So I can tighten this, tighten, loosen and adjust, tighten it again. As you can see in here, this one doesn't work like that anymore. In fact, none of them work that way because of the change to a different size nut and a different size screw. We've taken away the ability to put the bolt in this way or flip it over and put it in this way. We need to go back to that. Excuse me. You can see here I can't tighten this because the Phillips head faces the camera and I can't get to it. I need to be able to tighten it from this side. And because we took out the ability to interchange directions, you can't do it. Likewise, by putting the slide on one side and then the other side, I had to flip these to make them work where you can access them both from the same side. So we need all parts to go back to the method of being able to be accessible from both sides. Even this part, you can see I can't tighten it because the head of the nut is inside. And if I screw it, it just spins because now it's round. So if I had this part that has the hex head here, I could actually mount it and screw up from the bottom and the hex head would keep it tight. And then I could mount the unit to it where I need it and it would operate. So you can see that we need to change it so that it goes back to the original style. If that means picking different screws, it's important that the head of the screw is smaller than the nut so that you can reverse the direction and put the nut in one side or the nut in the other side and have the screw head go in either direction. Very important. Also, I don't like having the slide be for the washer. The slide needs to be for the hex head nut, like such. And then you can put the washer on the flat side. That's fine on the slides. I think the only place we're going to need a washer is on the slides. Everywhere else, just the head of the nut, of the nut that we've been using, has been strong enough to hold it. It's only on the slides that it's not. So we need to go back to having the nut slide all on one side and it be sized for the nut and not for the washer. I think if we do that, that'll allow us to arrange, tighten everything from the bottom. Like here, we can tighten this, for instance, from the bottom. If I can see it, there we can tighten it. We could tighten this tight. We could tighten. We can get to it all from one side. If we needed to flip it over to the other side, then we could just flip that around and put the screws on this side so that it would work if we had to flip this around. So we have to have the ability to reverse these screws no matter what the orientation of the bracket. If that makes sense, I'll send that to you today.